Hello Stampers, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Nice to have you join in today for another Mystery Monday video. It's hard to believe almost half of June has gone by. Oh my gosh, this summer is gonna just fly. So today we're going to take a look at the Shaded Summer stamp set. Now some of you may recognize this. It was actually in the catalog last year and has been carried over, and also some dies are now available to go with this. I think part of this was part of a celebration item thing last year. I could be wrong. It could be that the dies were a celebration item. I'm not 100% sure, but they are both available in the catalog, in our new catalog this year. So you can find the stamp set on page 102, and it's right here, and it is a foam mount set. I think it is foam mount unless they changed it, but the one I have, yeah, it's a cling stamp set. And then the dies look like this. So you get some really beautiful detailed dies in here to cut out flowers and leaves and greenery, and also to cut out the stamped images as well. So unfortunately it's not sold as a bundle, but you can purchase the dies and the stamp set separately. So I'm going to show you what we're going to make with this stamp set today. And it is this card here, which was inspired by Julie Gilson of stampinggala.com, a very talented demonstrator. I believe she's from the US, but I just kind of loved how this turned out, and did kind of switch up a couple of measurements and supplies, but I'll show you how we're going to make this card. All right, so I'll put my sample over here. So first thing we are going to do, I did pre-cut some pieces. We're going to use our new in color, our new Starry Sky, one of our in colors, and this is cut at 11 by 4 1/4. And I will post all these measurements on the post. So that will form our base. And then we have a piece of basic white that I ran through the gingham embossing folder, and it looks like this. And this is the folder. It's just a regular one. It's not a 3D folder, but it makes for some really neat backgrounds. So we're going to put that on first. And give us a little bit of a background, but you could use different embossing folders, whatever you have that you would like to use. Okay, so we'll put this down. And then we are going to use a piece of, we have another piece of Starry Sky, and then a piece of our 2022-24 in color 6x6 paper. Now it comes in a stack, and you get, I believe, 4 or 8 patterns, I think, of each color, if I'm not mistaken. But I just pulled out the Starry Sky patterns. So we are going to use this floral one, but there's also plaid, and then on the reverse there's some polka dots and stripes. So you can decide which you would like, or if you'd like to do this card in a different one of our new in colors, that would work, or one in each of the colors. You can certainly play around with that. So we're going to focus on this DSP because we're going to emboss our image here from the stamp set. So I'm just going to take a piece of white so I can see where I'm stamping. And then we have to ink this up with our Versamark pad. So it is sort of a bigger image. So when that happens, I kind of like to emboss it upside down and just apply the Versamark. And then we are going to stamp on here, sort of centering your image. And give that a press. And then we are going to emboss this with white embossing powder. So I'm just going to give that a sprinkle here. And you'll see it, the image already. Give it a little flick here, just to get some of that extra off. So it'll look like that. So I'm just going to put this back into the container before I spill it all over the place. All right, let's just close that up. And it does seem to spill regardless how careful you are, and make your work surface a little bit gritty, but you can always clean that up. Okay, so we're just going to apply our heat tool to set this. I'm just going to make a little bit of noise, and you'll see how this is going to change. Should be good. You just want to kind of give it a little glance, and I don't know if you can see that it's kind of turned a little bit shiny. So you don't want any sort of dull patches, because that means that powder hasn't quite set enough. So here we have sort of a shiny image that's shown up. Isn't that just so beautiful on that background? I think that's just so stunning. Okay, so now we can attach this on top of our starry sky base here. You might want to give it just a second to cool off, because you don't want that embossing to come off, and it can be really hot still right at the beginning. So just be aware of your fingers that you don't get them under that heat gun, because it will burn. And try not to when I say over emboss, sometimes if you apply the heat tool for too long, sometimes your embossing powder can start to burn. So just be careful that it's only going until it sort of starts to turn shiny like that. Isn't that beautiful? I just love how this turned out. Okay, so then we are going to attach it onto our embossed layer. If you wanted to pop it up with dimensionals, you could, but I'm going to pop up my greeting a little bit. So I think we'll just lay this part flat. Okay, like so. And then for the greeting, I went ahead and I also embossed in white the happy birthday from the stamp set. So there are some really cute greetings, and you may have to adjust the width of your paper here if you're choosing one of the wider ones, so this one for example, but otherwise I think they should fit, and there's some really nice greetings. So I use the happy birthday. Now when I say I'm going to pop this up, this layer here is already a little bit higher, so I'm just going to put dimensionals on the edges here, because if I put them in the center, it's going to kind of warp. It's not going to sit exactly as flat as I would like. So I'm just going to put my dimensionals on the end, and then lay this down here, showing just a little bit of that designer paper through the bottom. Okay, like so. And then we're going to attach a little bow. So I pre-did my bow, and that's just using our white crinkle seam binding ribbon. So I just cut a piece of that and tied a bow, and we're going to attach that with a glue dot here. Or you could attach a different bow if you wanted to add a little bit of color. You know, you don't have to stick to the white. You could add a pop of color there if you wanted. And then I am going to add just a little bit of bling. So I'm going to add some of these iridescent rhinestones basic jewels. So there's two different sizes. So maybe on this one, on my sample, I used the bigger ones, but here I think I'm going to maybe try just the smaller ones. And I'm going to put 3 because an odd number always looks good. Let's see if I've got those straight or not. You can always give them a little adjustment there, just to give it a pop of bling. And the iridescent ones just kind of bring out some more of that blue, if you can see that. And then we are going to add a panel on the inside. Okay, we're just going to stamp that floral image again. So what I'm going to do first is just clean off that Versamark. How do you like how dirty my chamois is? I do have a new one and I am going to pull it out. This one still works fine, but it's definitely showing its love for sure on how much it's been used. It's even cracking. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let us emboss, or sorry, not emboss. We're just going to stamp this on here in our Starry Sky, our new classic pad. So again, I'm just going to ink this upside down. It's a little bit big. You don't have to do it upside down, but, and I'm not going to put on the entire image because I do want to save a little bit of space for writing. So I'm going to put it a little towards the bottom and a little bit to the left. And just give it a little press like so. And that, because it's such a nice, fresh, juicy pad, doesn't that just look so great? I love that. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so now we are just going to attach this, oops, on the inside of our card. Oh my, oh, I'm running out of adhesive, but maybe I have just enough for this. Let me see, I might have another one I can just quickly use here. Okay, so we will put this as our inside panel right here. Give that a little press, and then you still have lots of room here to write your greeting. And there is your happy birthday with our shaded summer stamp set. So I hope you enjoyed that project. I do have a new host code for June. If anyone is interested, it's SC4RNGR4, and you're welcome to use that at checkout at my website at christineludwig.stampin'up.net. And you're also welcome to follow me and like my Facebook page, Pinterest, and subscribe to my fairly new YouTube channel. You'll find lots of other videos on there for different projects that might interest you, and they're all known as Christine's Stamping Spot. So I hope you enjoyed that project, Shaded Summer. Now that we're into summer, I hope you'll give that a try. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.